Let's see. Marcus, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Have a great day. Pete says, my name is Pedro Capetillo. I recently completed what I think is a game optimized 3D prop, and I'm seeking feedback to improve my workflow and quality for future projects. Let's visit this. Okay. This prop was designed with real-time optimization, 15K triangles for efficient in-game performance, a focus on texture detail, glowing, okay. Geometry, texturing, presentation, okay. So the first thing that I see is that the sculpting looks a little bit lumpy. What do I mean by this? Like this metal right here looks a little bit like stylized. It doesn't look sharp as I would expect some like metals to be. The textures themselves look very uniform. Like I don't see a lot of variation for this kind of like gold elements. I would expect to see a little bit of like a patina or some rust or something like that. Right now it looks very uniform. Then from an optimization perspective, I need to see the wireframe. Yeah, we can definitely optimize this a little bit more. Let me show you here. So whenever you have an area that's not going to change the silhouette, we can eliminate those loops. So for instance, this loop right here, this loop right here, this loop right here, and this loop right here, we can just delete them. Same for this one. This loop right here, this loop right here, those two loops are gone. We don't need those. If there's faces behind this piece, we can delete those faces. All of this thing right here, we can easily solve that with just like a couple of triangles. You don't need to have those many because all of that information is going to be baked down into the normal map, okay? Like this line right there, if it's not changing the silhouette, get rid of it. We don't need it. Same for this one, this one, this one, this one. If all of those are not giving at least a little bit of curvature, we don't need them. If they're giving a little bit of curvature, delete a couple. You don't need too many, okay? Like this asset can definitely be improved a little bit more. You are already in a good optimization, but if you're asking me about whether it can be improved more, yes, it can. Like we can delete some of the edges to really make it even more optimized. So yeah, be careful with these little details. All of those little details you don't need to keep on your resolution because that stuff is gonna be baked down into the normal maps. It's a good sculpt. I like the sculpt. Now that I see the sculpt, I like it. I understand what you were going for. So this is definitely good. But yeah, again, I would add a little bit more visual interest to the color variation of your element. The material variation is fine. Like I like the fact that we have a little bit of wood, we have the emissive maps, and we have these things right here. But definitely add a little bit more variation on the metals as well. Maybe some of them are not gold. Maybe some of them are like silver or like a steel or iron or something. And that way we don't have something that's just like gold and that's it, okay? Let me check if we have some. Ah, yeah, I remember some of your stuff. Yeah, this is definitely an improvement from a workflow perspective. Now, again, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a relatively simple prop. So you probably want to do something that's a little bit more ambitious, okay, Pedro? It's not a bad start, but I think you can push it to something more ambitious. Ward says, hey, I've been doing 3D modeling and animation for almost 7 years now, and I've noticed I've still got an artistic gap between myself and some people with less experience. Any tips? As I've mentioned before, pinpoint, like find exactly what it is. Like, if you look at people who are doing amazing things and you're like, why is my stuff not there? Be very honest and find what it is. Is it form? Is it anatomy? Is it textures? Is it rendering? Is it presentation? Is it modeling? And just find the specific gaps in your knowledge that you need to improve. Now, I do say don't compare yourself to others because everyone has their own like job or not job, their own like path, and we all have different situations in our lives. So compare yourself to yourself. Like if every single year for the past 7 years you've been improving as a 3D artist, then you're doing fine. But if you want to speed run that improvement, or if you want to improve a little bit faster, you might need to make some sacrifices, because those people that might have less years of experience but are doing way better things, they might be spending more time doing 3D, and in that case it's only fair that they're better than you because they spend more time, right? Like it would be very unfair if you just spend 1 hour and someone who spent 100 hours is worse than you. That doesn't make sense. So you might need to spend more time. You might need to practice more. You might need to invest in buying a course or enrolling in a class or looking some mentorship or something to find out where those gaps are and close those gaps so that you can keep on improving. Okay, those would be my tips. Oh, I'm losing my voice now.